see, no wonder I'm only getting a little bits done on each project, because I keep hopping around like a little bunny rabbit into something different all the time. Hello, my name is Michelle, and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 16th, and this is episode number 57. Welcome, welcome. I haven't said this in a while, but thank you so much if this is your first time joining me, and if you are a returning viewer, I so appreciate you, and welcome back. It is a very sunny day. It is mid-80s, kind of in the midst of another heat wave. It was so hot yesterday. I've turned the air conditioner off so that it wouldn't be extra background noise, so hopefully I can get through this recording without overheating. Quite honestly, it's quite pleasant because the air conditioner has not stopped, and it has been on constantly since, I think we turned it on Sunday, or yeah, I think it was on Sunday. And it's just loud, and it's like literally like right over there in that you can see these windows here, and so there's another window next to it, and that's the window that has the air conditioner, so it sits like right next to me as I am relaxing, so it's actually kind of nice to have it off. Anyway, I am blathering on. I have a fair bit to tell you about. I have updates, I have some finished objects, updates on my projects, a new project that I have started, and I have quite a few new additions to my yarn shelf to discuss. So I think that is all the administrative. I did take footage, vlog footage, and I know I've mentioned this a couple of times. I am intending to put a vlog together of, I'm gonna do a combined vlog of my time in New York City and my time in New Hampshire. There was not actually a ton of video from New Hampshire. Honestly, one day to the next didn't look all that different, at least not for me, because I just hung out at the house and played games and knit. And so once I took a couple of those videos, it really didn't look that different. So anyway, I'm gonna do a combined vlog. I am not positive how quickly I'm going to get to editing that. I would like to think in the next week, but I know better than to make promises. So it'll come out when it comes out, but you can be watching for that in the next, by the end of the summer, for sure. At any rate, let's go ahead and get started. I have two new projects that I have completed. The first one is my New York City socks. I finished these yesterday. I wanted them done for the podcast. So I think I had turned the heel by yesterday morning, and I was working on the rest of the foot. And so I did the rest of the foot and the toe and tied them off, and they are done. I actually forgot to pull out my project bag that has the yarn, the leftover yarn, and the label one more time. The yarn was Trellis Aries in Birthday Girl, and I don't have it in my notes, but I want to say I used about 55 grams, because I think I have like 44-ish grams left in my yarn cozy that I finished. So my plan, I actually put it right back into the project bag that I was using, and my plan is to make a yarn cozy with it. So I have the needles all in here in a little pouch ready to go, so hopefully I can get that cast on and maybe done by the next podcast. But I want to do a yarn cozy in that, and I actually still have the little ball of yarn in here. I didn't do it, but these are from my New York socks that I did two trips ago, 2 years ago, so 2023. This is 2025, yeah, 2023. I'd like to do a yarn cozy in both of those. So that's what this little project bag is going to be until those are done. But I'm super happy to have these off of the needles. It kind of became symbolic. That's not even a word. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but symbolic. There's the word. Wow. Words are hard sometimes when you're on vacation. A symbol of my trips, both of my trips, I guess, because I did the one sock in the city. I had the other sock that I worked on while we were in New Hampshire. I think I got through the leg. I don't think I turned the heel in New Hampshire. I think I only did that when I got home. But still, I kind of worked on those throughout those trips. So that is finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is my second skein of yarn. So here is my first one. And there is the second one. Back it up, there we go. So you can see the two of them together. So you can see this one is definitely a little darker, although the lighting isn't reflecting on that great. I'm actually feeling like I spin this one thinner. I feel like my gauge or my weight is different, which could be problematic when I go to knit with it, but you know what? That's a problem for another time. I definitely got more consistent. I can see some even thicker spots in this first skein, but once I wash them, we'll see what happens, how they kind of like plump up and change and all of that. So those are the first 2 of the skeins that I'm working on. I have started, my wheel is right here, started spinning that last skein, and then it'll become a sweater of some sort. So that is my finished objects for this week. The first project in my project bag that I am going to talk about today is my Bay Day tank. I haven't done a ton, but I was working on those socks, and spinning, and I don't know. I just haven't done a ton, I guess. So here is where I am at. I hold it the correct way, so it doesn't look a whole lot different from when I last showed you last week, although I did get some done. You can see there, about 1.5 inches, and the bulk of that was this morning, I will be honest. I did end up putting it on, try it on tubing while we were still in New Hampshire when I did that, and I tried it on, and it is fitting great. So after I had done a couple of rows on the actually, I think it was just about where I left off. I switched it to try it on tubing, I tried it on, and that is actually where it sat until this morning when I took it off the try it on tubing, and then I just did what you saw. So hopefully now that I've got it back on the needles and it's moving along, I can kind of make some good progress with it. I am about 2 inches in from the underarm, and I have to do 4 inches before I begin waist decreases or waist shaping. So that's where that's at. I am into my 3rd color in the little mini skein set, which is from Hedgehog Fibers. And yeah, that's where that's at. I'm curious to see how much, now that I'm going all the way around and around and around, how much of each color I fit in each section, but that's kind of where that's at. So and in case I think I forgot to say, it is the Bay Day tank, which is by Briana Luppino of the Little Wolf Knits. All right, next project, let's take, where did I stick that? Aha, right here. Let's talk about my Bahama Advent wrap, which I have done actually a decent amount on. This is by Toni Lipsey. It is a crochet project that I am doing with Tunisian crochet, and I finished a color. So I was working on this pink last time. You can see where my little marker is, and I have started adding in the next color. I just finished, literally the last thing I did was I finished the last of the pink and cut it off. And so here is this color. This is from my Beauty and the Beast Advent by Fangirl Fibers. And as I've said before, I'm really just picking away at it. Here's the whole thing. I don't know how much of that you can see. There we go. Looks like I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is color 6, if I'm counting right, but I don't know. Actually, I do have a way of telling because I am putting all the extras into a little bag. This is from my Yarnables yarn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So that is what I have left of each of my colors. So I'm ending, they're all slightly different, although it looks like some of them are just wrapped a little more tightly. I would say I have a couple of grams in each left. And that is based on how much I'm doing. I calculated it out, my gauge and my row gauge and how long it would be, and I want to incorporate all of the minis and end up with a roughly particular length. So what I'm going to do with all of these leftovers when I'm done, I haven't yet decided, but there will be a substantial number because it's 24 times 2, that's 48 grams, which is, yeah, 50 grams would be half a skein. So I could probably do a pair of socks if I incorporated another. That could be really fun. Ooh, my brain just went squirrel. If I use another color for cuff, heels, and toes, I could totally do a pair of socks. And I could do them in tandem. I'd have to weigh each color and knit halfway and then add it to the second pair of socks. But I could have, if I do both socks, talking is hard. Both socks at the same time, that'll probably be the easiest. Oh, maybe that's what I'm gonna do. That could be super, super fun. So, okay. And I would probably, if I do toe up, then I could definitely include all of the color, like all the rest of the colors, and just make really long legs. That might be something to think about. At any rate, that is my Bahama Advent Wrap by Toni Lipsey. All right, project number 3 that I have been working on. See, no wonder I'm only getting a little bits done on each project because I keep hopping around like a little bunny rabbit into something different all the time. I did take out my Knit It Down when I got home. Monday, I think, actually, is when I took it out. So it wasn't exactly when I got home, but I did pick it back up. Monday was my day of nothing. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I am now well into my, into my sleeve. So this is where I was last time. I had to do 2 inches and then start the decreases, which I have now begun. So now that I'm into the decrease section and my socks are done, this is going to be my preferred project when I just need quiet, straight knitting. I am planning to bring it with me tonight to a Bible study. We're actually doing an extended Bible study. We're doing a barbecue with our friends, with the group prior to the Bible study. So I anticipate I'm gonna have a decent amount of knitting time in addition to what I might normally get done during Bible study. So that is going to come with me. I did say it's the Knit It Down. It's by Trapp. It was originally a pattern published in Creative Knitting Magazine, and I am using it's Wonderland yarn. It is in their Mary Ann base. I haven't shown this in a while. And After the Storm is the colorway name, which was their fundraising color that they put together after some of the storms that devastated the East Coast last fall? Yeah, last fall. I haven't had the yarn that long, so. All right, that is this project. My next project is a new project that I have started. This is the baby blanket that I am making for my niece. She is expecting her first baby in November, and I had a conversation with my sister-in-law at my daughter's bridal shower and confirmed that there's no real color scheme. I had already picked this pattern out before I left New York. So after the shower, my daughter and I we picked out the yarn together. So I am using from Hobby Lobby, it is their Baby Bee in 6 different colors. I have Sandcastle, Set Sail, Bashful, Green Light, Coral Cutie, and Love You More. I hopefully will have popped a picture in here of the 6 colors together in the order that I am planning on using them. So it's these color blocks of color. So I bought the yarn on Saturday and I immediately started, and that's what I've got. I'm about halfway through the first set of colors. I think it's 12 rows if I remember correctly before I switched colors, and I think I was at 6 or 7. So it is super, super soft. Is it just a straight acrylic? I don't remember. 60% acrylic, 40% polyamide. So yeah, essentially it is, but the polyamide is what is making it very soft. I am using a G hook, which is a 4mm hook, and I'm doing that so that hopefully it'll be nice and drapey, and that is kind of what it feels like. It's got some really good drape going on. It's so soft. Oh my goodness. Super, super soft. So very fun. I am working on this as I go. I've got a little bit of time. I got about 6 weeks. The bridal shower is, baby shower is actually the same weekend as my daughter's wedding, which is the last weekend in August. So basically all of it is a deadline when I go back to school, when the wedding happens, when the shower is. So that's what I'm working towards. I don't feel any urgency yet, so I am taking my time picking away at it. If I get to about the first week of August, I will probably assess where I'm at and then make some really firm plans on how I can get it completed in a timely fashion without totally stressing myself out. So I'm just kind of trying to see what I can do before then without like feeling that I'm on a deadline or obligated. There we go, that's the word I'm really looking for. Because I'm really right now just trying to lean in and enjoy my craft and my yarn and all the things that I'm doing, because the first beginning part of my vacation, my summer break from school, was pretty busy, and so I'm kind of trying to lean in here now and rejuvenate myself. So at any rate, that is this project. My last project is my spinning project, and on my wheel is my first bobbin here of my last skein of yarn, and this is the BFL. Dark BFL. I just, as you can see, I just barely got started. So I have pretty much the whole 2 2/3 ounces that I still have to do. I'm just doing it again here and there. I have been pretty good about spinning every single day. I missed one day. I missed Sunday. Got really busy and I just didn't get to it. But I've done at least 5 minutes every day, and I know there are a couple of rest days built in, and I don't know where they are, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if one of them is right in the neighborhood of Sunday-ish, because that's about a week or so after the Tour de France starts. I have to go look. I'm actually kind of curious to go and look and see where the official rest days are, and if I accidentally landed within that time frame. Again, not that it matters. This is, for me, a personal challenge to just try to spin every day, and I'm having a really great time with it. So those are the projects that I currently have going in my project bag. All right, buckle up everyone. This is my On My Yarn Shelf segment, and it is a big one. When I got home from New Hampshire, I had received my woolen yarn box. So let's start with that. I love the little box that it comes in. It's a great size box and will be good for storing things, honestly. So you open it up. That's what I have. There's always a fun little poem or whatever. This one is called Beach Treasures. And it reads, tuck your toes into warm sand. Let the waves lull you into a creative rhythm and cast on by the coast. The seaside-inspired yarn box is for beach-loving stitchers who dream of knitting under an umbrella, salt in the air, and skeins in their lap. Inside, you'll find ocean-kissed colors, beachcomber-inspired treasures, and whimsical notions that feel like they washed ashore just for you. My happy place is the ocean. So I was super excited to get this box. That was one of the reasons I opted to buy the subscription. I loved the little project bag from last month. This was kind of the initial hook. I wanted that not project bag. But then when I saw that this second one was the Beach Treasures box, I knew that I needed to get it. So, would you like to see what I have in my box? It's so good. So the first thing, I'm gonna make you wait on the yarn, is I have some little stitch marker, project keepers. Separate them out there from Sam's Tiny Trinkets. Aren't they so cute? So it's a little shell and with water over it, I guess. And then a little smaller shell. I can't wait to use these. They've been sitting very patiently in my box. I'm telling you, it's been a real trial to not pull these things out and use them because I am so in love with this box. Okay, that is thing one. Thing two is a wool wash bar, which I don't think I have any wool wash bars, so I'm kind of excited to use this. Summer Sun, it is peach, mango, and passion fruit. Really can't smell it in the plastic, but I'm sure it smells delightful. And then there was a candle, Sea Spa. It is lemon, lime, and sea salt. It smells amazing. Oh my goodness. I wish there was smell-o-vision because you guys need to smell this. It is so awesome. So super fun. And there was a little faux leather shell bookmark. There we go. The light will pick up. And I really wanted to pull this out this morning because I just started a Bible study in the book of Acts with the ladies from my church. And there's a study guide and then there's a book that goes along with it. And so I really wanted to put this into my book to mark where I'm at as I go between chapters. And so I'm gonna do that right now. There we go. Look at that. Okay, set this back down. Okay, and the project bag. So pretty. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So cool. It's a great size for, like, I think you could fit a 2-skein project in here. You could fit a shawl. 2 skeins might be a little tight, but it's really great. I love it. Okay, you ready for the yarn? I've been really kind of stalling. It is so pretty. Look at that. Oh, these are my colors. I think I'm gonna make a pair of socks with these. Like, absolutely. With the little mini and everything. I love the blue right there. Is that picking up? Oh, so good. And then there is a free sock pattern that comes with it too. So I have to make sure I go in and download my sock so that I can maybe make those socks with this yarn. And we'll see how long I hold off before I start knitting with this. I have lots of projects kind of on the needles and on the horizon, so I don't really see it getting cast on soon, but you never know. Alrighty, let's tuck these things away. The next thing that arrived is my Woolen Woman File, also from Woolen Woman Fibers, and this is my Murder She Knit blanket, mystery blanket yarn. And it was late in coming. I only got it on Monday? I think it was Monday it showed up, so the 14th. They are still working to kind of get themselves caught up. Andrea had an emergency C-section at the beginning of June, to my knowledge. They are all doing well, but they're still kind of getting themselves caught up. So they had warned that this box this month was going to be late and that they were not individually packaging everything, which honestly suits me just fine. Look how fun and vibrant these colors are for the month of July, which totally means that I can pick and choose where I want to start, what colors I want to do. I can't decide. I might just randomly reach in and randomly pull a color out. I don't necessarily feel that I have to set it like a fade or whatever. Like, they're all gonna go together. And the whole blanket is kind of this hodgepodge of colors anyway. So yeah, super fun. I really kind of like it this way and kind of wish and hope that they would keep it this way. And I believe this is how they came last year, because I remember watching Boston Jen open hers and she always had just a little bundle, and I really, that was an appeal to me. I was actually a little sad when it came in all the individual envelopes. And so I have actually started since April, I think, opening up the little envelopes and taking them all out, but I have been stringing them in order and not doing it random. So maybe for the last bit of the blanket, I will embrace the random and not worry about what color lands where. But now that I've shown these off, I didn't want to dip into it at all until I showed you guys. So now that these have been shown off, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to my blanket this week and see how many of these colors that I can get worked up. Technically, we're still supposed to be done these by the end of July. So today is the 16th, I mean, it's halfway. So if I did one color a day, then I would definitely stay caught up. So I don't wanna fall any further behind. So yeah, that's something that I'll be working on. All right, the last bit of yarn that I'm gonna show you, I'm actually kind of going backwards now in time, as it were. And I'm gonna show you the yarn that I got when I was in New York City. I didn't have it with me last week when I podcasted in New Hampshire, so I'm gonna show you now. So the first, we went to two shops, as you recall. We went to Woolen and we went to Brooklyn General Store. So at Woolen, I purchased this yarn. Is this looking familiar? These are my colors, what can I say? This is by Murky Depths. It is their deep sock in Water Babies, but this is the yarn that I will turn into socks next year when I go to New York and visit my daughter. So I definitely knew I needed to get a hand-dyed sock yarn for that. As it turns out, I'm really glad I picked this up at Woolen, because Brooklyn General Store, while it was a very delightful store, didn't have a whole lot of the hand-dyed yarn that I really would have preferred or leaned to toward for socks. I could have found something if pressed, but this is definitely more my wheelhouse as far as that goes. So I got the one skein of this one, and then at Brooklyn General Store, though, I did find some yarn. Fear not. I have this yarn here, and it is a brand I have never heard of. I'm not sure where, I have to look it up. Peru? Made in Peru. Yeah, there we go. Illimani Sabri is the company, and it is an 85% organic cotton, 15% baby alpaca. It is so soft, and the color is fawn, and yeah, yeah, it's so pretty. Just so pretty. So I pulled out 3 skeins thinking that I would do a sweater. Like, that was kind of my thought initially. They're $16.50 a skein. Not too bad of a price. And I checked out, I paid for the 3, and then I was starting to walk towards the door, and I just had this little nudge. Go get the 4th skein, because you just don't know. And so I did. So I ended up with 4 skeins of this yarn. So 60 some odd dollars, I think, is what it came to for all 4 rather. But now I know I have plenty. I have over 1,600 yards. I'm not sure if this will be a cardigan or a pullover. I have yet to decide, but it is gonna be amazing when I knit with it. My last section here will probably be pretty quick, my day-to-day, because I have done a whole lot of nothing in the last week or so. Last time I recorded was last Wednesday. We were in New Hampshire. So Thursday, we spent our final day relaxing, playing games, the like. And then on Friday, we packed up and came home. We had to check out by 10, but I think we were all out of the house by 9:30. Like at that point, we were all just kind of ready to be home and head home. And so we did. Got home as a little over 2 hours away. So we got home shortly before noon and brought everything in. We had a bunch of refrigerated stuff that we kind of divided up all of the food that we had purchased because we kind of mutually ate together all of our meals. So we split up because we had bought groceries together. We split them all up. So I got all the cold stuff put away and everything. And then we just collapsed. And we should not have been as tired as we were because we really didn't do anything. But I think it was more a mental exhaustion because as wonderful as it was to be together, we didn't really have any like alone time or downtime. I guess I could have tuned in, put headphones in and like watched a video or something, but it felt kind of rude to do that. Could have gone off into my bedroom, but it wasn't really a comfortable place to sit. Yeah, it was interesting. So I ended up falling asleep. My husband ended up falling asleep. My daughter took a short little nap well, the dogs were just happy to see us because we had been gone for the week, but we just didn't do a whole lot. I'm trying to think. No, we didn't even leave the house again. Because I did groceries, it was the next day. So yeah, we didn't even leave the house. We just really chilled and it was amazing. It was wonderful. Sunday, of course, we went to church. We got home from church and we pretty much immediately had to drive my daughter down to Portland to pick up her rental car so that she could drive herself back down to New York City. So we did that, and then on the way home, we stopped and picked up some groceries. I kind of had a vague idea. I hadn't created a real big list, but a vague idea of some of the things I needed, because remember now, at that point, I had essentially been gone for 2 weeks straight. That was also, I think, what was contributing to my fatigue, is I needed to be home. That said, we got home from dropping off my daughter and doing groceries. We stopped in Falmouth, in one of the towns, on the way home and picked up groceries. We put them away, and then we got in our car and we drove and visited with my mother-in-law, who I hadn't seen in a couple of weeks. So that was wonderful. And my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law and his wife were there. And so we all kind of visited and then came home. And then Monday was my day to do a whole lot of nothing. And I won't say nothing I did, but nothing I did, right? So I took it super slow in the morning. I did some knitting. I did some podcast watching. I did a bunch of reading. I took a nap. And then I think we did spaghetti for dinner. So like dinner was easy. It was all just easy and it was fabulous. Yesterday I had my workout and then I had an appointment in, well, it's Bowden, but it's a town about a 45-minute drive from me, with a seamstress. So I brought her the dress that I am going to wear to my daughter's wedding along with the fabric. She is the cousin of a friend of mine. It was the woman who I room shared with when we went to Michigan for Odyssey of the Mind. And I was telling my friend all about my dress, and she's like, oh, my cousin can totally take care of that for you. And so you know what? I am happy enough to hand that off so I don't have to think about it. So I had already hemmed the dress myself because it was meant for somebody who's like 8 feet tall and I'm only 5 feet tall. Okay, maybe not really, but you know how long gowns are like. I don't know how tall they think people are, or if they feel like every woman wears stiletto heels, neither of which is me. So I had cut off, I want to say like 3 inches. I can't remember exactly. It was at least 2, but it might have been 3 inches, and hemmed it up. I think I talked about that back in May. I hadn't yet done the lining, which was separate from, you know, the hem itself. And so this lady is actually going to trim that up for me, serge it off, and sew down the slit, which again, because it was so long and meant for, I don't know, somebody taller, not me, went pretty high up on my thigh. And so she's going to extend that about 4 inches, I believe, and create like a poncho cover for the top. So I'm happy to have that off with her. So I went and dropped that off and came home. And then when my husband got home from work, we had to immediately flip into a project. We are getting ready to have some work done on an upstairs room in our house, which is kind of served as a catch-all storage. And we've been talking about this for several weeks, and then he got an email when he got to work yesterday morning that said that they were going to be here on Thursday, so tomorrow, for demolition. And so we needed to empty that space out. And because we have Bible study tonight, it had to be last night. So it was so hot. Oh my gosh, we were so hot doing this. But it took most of the evening. Like I think it was almost 9 o'clock before we were totally done. And my husband, bless his heart, after about 7:30, he could see how wiped out I was because we had to go up and down the stairs multiple times because there's just not enough room upstairs for most things. So a lot of it is downstairs. I've got it actually a bunch lined up right there in the middle of my living room. Like literally we are walking around things all over in my house until this project is done. But he's like, just go sit, Michelle. I've got this. I'll take care of the rest of it. So he did. He took care of it, but I'm so excited to have this project done. It's going to create a master bedroom space for us, and then we can take our bedroom and turn that into a guest room, which is something I've wanted for years. So I'm very excited. I'm hoping at some point in the next couple of days to go through, now that I have all of these bins down here that were in the storage space, to go through them, and I know a bunch of it just needs to go to Goodwill, and so I'm hoping to sort through and dispose of a bunch of it, so that when we are ready to put things back away and into spaces, there will be less of it, and it will go into spaces better. That's the hope. So at any rate, that is where things are at right now. I thank you so much for hanging in with me. This is slightly longer than normal, not terrible, but if you enjoyed this podcast though, please hit the like button and subscribe so you know when I have something new. I will have links down below in the show notes for all of the things that I have talked about. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Knittin Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You can also send me an email at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. It is starting to get warm in here, so I think I need to turn that air conditioning back on. And with that, I hope you have a fantastic week and happy knitting.